All right, once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, we ask that you please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your questions in the queue. With that being said, we'll get started with Coach Maynor from Alabama A&M. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping this past week's action for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we opened up conference play on the road at Southern. We knew it was going to be a hostile environment. Good football team, well coached. Coach Dooley had his guys fired up, ready to go. First conference game for both teams, and they took the ball, went down and scored an opening touchdown, and we got the ball back and struggled a little bit on offense and kind of went back and forth like that throughout the first quarter. They got the ball right before half and drove it down, and we got a goal line stop to stay in the game there right before half, keep it one possession game. And we got the ball coming out. We didn't do much with it. Kind of game just stayed right there. And then they got a late score. And then we got down 2 touchdowns. We got a score, got back in the game down 1 score, and 17-10. We got the ball on the 1-yard line, ran it in, and Donovan Eaglin fumbled the ball into the end zone, and they recovered. And they brought it out to the 20. That would tie the game up at 17-17 in the fourth quarter. So we didn't execute down there. They made a play. You got to take your hats off to them. Dooley had those guys ready to play. And they made the plays when they had to. And they was able to get out there with the victory. And we got to regroup. We got to get ready for this week. Another tough opponent, Arkansas Pine Bluff. They're playing well. They're playing hard. And they come to our place on Thursday night on national TV. So we got a short week, short turnaround. We got to be ready to go.
Appreciate those comments, Coach Maynor. First question goes to Henry Pugh.
Good morning, Coach Maynor. Henry Pugh with HBCU Hour. How are you doing this morning?
Good, Henry. How you doing?
Doing good, Coach. Can you give us a status update on Xavier Langford?
Yeah, he day to day. He tweaked. He got his sprained knee, so he's day to day, week to week. We just got to wait and see.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Next question goes to Mo Carter.
Hey, Coach. Last week against Southern, you faced one of the guys that you brought in early into your tenure with Alabama A&M and Gary Quarles. Can you talk about the performance that he had on Saturday?
Well, he, we pretty much shut the running game down, but he did score twice, once out the backfield on a pass and then on another run. So he played well for them. He played well enough for them to win the game. He had 2 scores. I think they only had 2 touchdowns. He had both of them. So he played well. I mean, he played against. He's a good football player. He was an all-conference player before he left us. So I'm happy for him.
And of course, this week you've got a short week, as you mentioned, against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Can you kind of talk about the difficulties there may be ahead for you and your staff preparing on such short notice for a Pine Bluff team that's coming off their first win of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a short week. You got 2 less days to prepare. You got to be ready to go a lot quicker. We did our regular Sunday, and then we practiced this morning. So we'll practice tomorrow morning and Wednesday, and we'll get ready to play Thursday. It's a short week for us, but it's also a short week for Pine Bluff. So nobody has an advantage. Nobody has a disadvantage. It's just what it is when you play on Thursday night. That's part of it, and I just got to be prepared.
Next question goes to Dr. Cuville.
This is Kenyatta Caville, Dr. Caville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Maynor.
Good morning, Doc. How you doing?
If you would, I wanted to get inside the mind coordinator, coach, in terms of understanding the game. When you're in the game and you see your offensive line is not getting the push that you obviously go in the game preferring them to get, how much does it affect the play calling from that perspective?
Tremendously. You want to play on their side of the ball. You want to be able to run the ball. You want to be able to pass protect. You want to be able to stay balanced to keep them off balance. And they make you one dimensional, and now you behind the 8 ball. So you're 100% correct. It's a big difference when they're dominating our offense line, instead of our offense line dominating them. When we're dominating them, we can call what we want to, call running plays in any situation. Let's take a 3rd and 5. I say, hey, coach, it's 4-down territory, man. Run the ball twice. When we can't run the ball, then, it's not 4-down territory, and we need to get the first down, or we have to kick. So it makes a big difference on whose line is winning the line of scrimmage.
Thank you, Coach.
You up?
Currently taking questions for Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M. If you have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for Coach. Any final questions for Coach Maynor? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll move over to Alabama State and head coach Robinson. Coach, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. If you could please just start us out by recapping your bye week.
Yeah, the bye week went pretty well. Good chance for us to kind of work it on ourselves. Our motto how this week and probably started that a couple weeks ago is just win each day. So let's not focus on winning Saturday. Let's win Tuesday, win Wednesday, win Thursday. So I thought we did a good job of that. Of course, getting the kids reset on academics and those type of things. So that was really good. Also, able to watch all of the games on TV, and that was great. Watching the SWAC coaches win all of the out-of-conference games. So congratulations to all of those guys, and just seeing so many games, HBCU games and SWAC games in general, being able to just sit at home as a fan and watch all the different games at one time. So I think commissioner's done a great job of getting us that visibility and that exposure. So that was really good. And the next week, of course, we go to FAMU, and that's going to be a big challenge, going to a team that has that type of talent, Musa at quarterback, number 2, number 4, those guys can really throw the ball around. So I think it's just one of the best places in all of college football to play. It's just going to be a great game day experience. So just trying to get our kids up for that challenge. Some guys who haven't played there before, because, just a new thing with us, with them getting to the conference and getting that rivalry going back again. But I just think it's one of the great places to play in. So I think the traditions they have, the fan and student participation, it'll be a challenge for us to go down there. And that's what we're looking forward to, just to compete at a high level.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions. First question goes to Mason Smith.
How you doing, Coach Robinson?
Doing well. How's it going?
Doing pretty well. Obviously getting ready for FAMU. The big ticket item around Alabama State football is, of course, the play of Demetrius Davis and Damon Stewart. What did you kind of see, during your week off on tape, and how you plan to handle the quarterback situation going in against the Rattlers?
Well, I think we have to handle it like any other position. We have to let those guys compete in practice, and whoever gives us the best chance to win, that's the kid that has to play. And that's been the conversation with them. I think kids, we have to treat them like adults sometime, and just have those open conversations with them and say, hey, this is what we like, this is what we don't like. And if you do the things that help us win the football game, then, hey, you get to play more. And I think that's how we have to look at it. Both of those guys are very similar. They have a similar skill set. And so they both know the offense well. They both are competitors. They both want to play. Personally, I think they both deserve to play the way that they've handled the situation and everything, especially Stewart. Has just been a great team guy. Never complained or pouted when he didn't get the nod to be the starter, but was always ready. So you have a guy like that that's a team player. You want to reward him to give him some playing time. The intent was for him to play in the Miles game regardless of the situation. It just seemed like, when he came in there, it looked like it was a replacement. But regardless, we wanted him to play in that game. It felt like he had done enough in practice to earn some playing time.
Absolutely, Coach. Now, going against FAMU, the defense, ASU's defense is going to have a really big challenge to them against, again, Musa, Yan, Jamaria, Shareed. What has been the message to your defense to get ready for a really tough challenge against FAMU?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to alignment and assignment. Just make sure you're in the right spot. You don't let guys run through the defense free. You make them earn it. Those guys, Musa's a talented guy. He's going to put the ball in some places where you can't stop it, and then you just make the tackle and move on to the next play. But you don't want to have his mental errors and blown assignments where guys are just catching touchdowns with nobody there to harass them. If they make the great plays and the great catches, hey, you go to the next play, but just make sure you're in the right spot. That way you can defend everything, and just be a good tackling team, run to the football, we have to swarm. We got to be all hands on deck, and a lot of guys that have to play. We know it's going to be hot down there, and we got to be ready for that part of it. Hydrate and get ready for everybody that gets on the bus have to contribute to us winning the game.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Roberts.
Good morning. How's it going?
Going well. It's going well. Wanted to ask you in terms of, it seems like based on what took place last year and to some degree the year before that, in terms of this game becoming a rivalry, one is the proximity between the institutions. Can you talk a little more about that and see if is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games where, everybody in Montgomery has always been saying, hey, we ought to play FAMU more. And, because, MEAC SWAC, it just never really worked out. We actually played them twice when I was in school, but that was, a long, long time ago. And so I think now it's just great to be able to play them week in and week out, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, track. It seems like every sport is becoming a rivalry, and that's how it should be. Like you said, it's probably the closest miles-wise from any other team in the conference, so it just makes a lot of sense. But in any rivalry, both sides have to win a game or two. So right now we're 0-2. So for it to be a real rivalry, we got to win the game here. So, but I think they're doing a great job. Coach Simmons has those guys poised to take that next step, and I know that's their goal. But that's our goal also. So you have two great teams. They're going to go out there and play hard, and fans are going to participate. They did a great job coming up here last year with their fan base, and we expect our guys to do a great job of going down there to Tallahassee and just having a great SWAC football game.
I want to follow up in terms of, you spoke a little bit offensively, what they're able to do effectively. What do you see them doing defensively?
I mean, they play just a great disciplined zone defense, and the guys up front really make it go. And so when you have guys like that, a front four, and it's probably like a front 10 because they rotate a lot of guys. So they do a great job of getting those guys in and out the game, keeping them fresh. And when you have guys up front like that, then you can play great disciplined zone defense. So they're going to make you earn everything. They're not going to give you anything. They're going to be disciplined, run to the football. So teams like that is just a recipe for winning. Have a really good special teams, good solid offense that can put points on the board, and a solid defense that don't give up anything easy. And so to me, that's always a successful football team. So they'll be in every game. We know that. And so just a good team, well coached, well disciplined. So it's going to be a challenge. We just have to go down there and enjoy the opportunity, win each day. Right now, we're trying to win Monday. We win Monday and win each day. Then we earn the right to get a chance to win on Saturday. So that's the message to the team.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the game this weekend.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Montgomery are well. Talk a little bit about Mr. Davis and KJ and the offensive side of the Hornets football team, what you're seeing so far and what you like.
Well, I think what I like is when we don't turn the ball over and we are penalty free. And I think that's when we're a good team. We can stay ahead of the change. We have to head a 1st and 10. We got to come back with a 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. We can't come back with a 1st and 15. We can't come back with a 2nd and 20 because of a penalty. When we play well, I mean, we're not having the penalties, and it's the pre-snap penalties we have to totally eliminate. We did a good job of that last week in practice. We want to continue that. We eliminate the penalties and protect the football, then we'll be okay. If we don't do those things, then it's going to be a tough afternoon. I think most teams can kind of have that same sentiment. I don't think we're in a position right now to overcome those 2nd and 25s and 3rd and 15s. And so we just have to play within ourselves and be the best version of Alabama State football team that we can be.
Coach, going into Bragg Memorial Stadium, just talk a little bit about that atmosphere. Every atmosphere in HBCU and in the SWAC and the MEAC is a beautiful thing, but talk a little bit about Bragg and some of your memories there with Alabama State.
Yeah, played there once. Back then we played them in the old Gulf Coast Classic in Mobile, and so we played them once in Mobile and played them once at FAMU Stadium. I was probably like a freshman or a sophomore, so you're talking about quite some time ago. But just going to those games there and watching them play at home and just looking at it on television and everything and the excitement that it causes, it's just a great place to go play. And I don't think it's I don't just say, hey, it's a great atmosphere for an HBCU game. I just think it's one of the great atmospheres in college football, and I rank it right up there with any other program, whether big school, small school, it doesn't matter. And I just think they do a great job of getting their fans engaged, getting the students engaged, a lot of tradition, the bands engaged. So I think everything about it is just beautiful. And so we're looking forward to participate.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Henry Pugh.
Good morning, Coach. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good.
All right. Henry Pugh with HBCU Hour. Quick question for you, Coach. FAMU prides itself on that winning streak they have at home. And that in itself can be kind of a challenge for some opposing teams. What's the mentality that you kind of instill in your players to kind of get over that hump?
Well, to me, that's not really anything that we have to worry about. To me, we're trying to win one football game. That's it. And right now we're trying to win Monday. And then we're going to get down there on Saturday. We're going to try to win each play. And after that, whatever happens at the end of the game, you can be proud of the outcome. So, it's definitely something that I'm sure they're proud of. It's something that's a big accomplishment. I wasn't really aware of it till to watching the game the other night. But that's something that everybody wants to win at home. That's a huge goal of ours also to win your home games and to win that many games at home. That's a true testament to the coaches and to the players and to the whole atmosphere that they put that together. It doesn't just happen. So. But for us, we can't be focused on that part of it. We just have to play the guys that are in front of us. We're playing the 2023 version of Florida A&M football. That's what we're facing. We can't get caught up with how many games they won on at home and everything like that.
Yeah, Coach, and to follow that up, you just said you're playing the 2023 version. Do you look back at last year and as far as the game you guys had with FAMU, how close it was, a mistake here, a mistake there. Do you look back at that and pull anything from that to kind of take forward into this matchup?
Yeah, because it was towards the end of the year, you definitely look back at it because you see, hey, what did they do against us that worked and vice versa and those type of things. But different players, fortunately, some of those guys, Xavier, Land, those guys are going on to brighter pastures and they're doing a great job. So we don't want to have to play against them again, but they have some great replacements. So you're really just focusing on the guys that they have on the field right now. But from a scheme wise, you say, hey, well, some of those things that we had trouble with, we definitely want to correct those things. Last year was last year. It was a close game, went down to the end. I imagine this game would be the same. And so we're just going to have to play each play. And you tell the kids, you never know which play is going to be the determining factor to win or lose the game. It could be that first play of the second quarter, but you never know. That could be the play that has a big outcome in the whole game.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Robinson, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Head Coach McNair. Happy to be joined by Coach McNair with Alcorn State. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus McNeese State.
It was a good outing. Thought the kids really performed very well during the first home game here on campus. Opening drive, we drove the ball 12 plays, 84 yards for a score. Get the ball again and we drive it 14 plays, 82 yards. So I thought the guys did a great job responding to the way they didn't play last week against Stephen F. Austin. So they came out and really played well. I'm proud of both sides of the ball. Defense had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. So really play hard. They strained themselves, and at the end of the night, they was proud of themselves as we should be. Defense had 3 sacks during the course of the outing. So very proud of the effort. The coaching staff put together a game plan that was very solid in terms of breaking down film, watching McNeese State and the things that they were going to try to do to us, offense, defense, and special team wise. So we was up for the challenge and we did well and played an excellent ball game. I thought, we strained ourselves in terms of on each and every play. So other than that, looking forward to our first SWAC conference game here at home against Prairie. Coach McDowell gonna have those guys ready to play. So we just got to be ready to play and just take care of our business, I guess, in terms of what we need to do. Sometimes it's not all about the other team in preparation. It's about how well we can prepare ourselves for a battle. And I think it's going to be a good one down here in Jackson Castle Stadium on Saturday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning.
I wanted to ask a little bit about your quarterback room. Thus far, you played both Allen and Macon in each of your games, and I wanted to ask: does strategy shift now that we move to SWAC play?
Well, no, I think what we're doing now is that's a good room right now. And I think Coach Phillips doing a real good job of getting those guys prepared to play each and every day. You know, in terms of practice, what they do in the practice, and carrying on to the game. So. Preparation this week gonna be kind of tough. We still trying to figure out who's gonna take the ring and lead this team. So I thought Allen did a great job this past weekend, managing the offense up and down the field, made some great passes, threw the ball to seven different receivers had catches. He controlled the game. He managed the game very well in terms of his ability to play at that position.
Quick follow-up. Prairie View, much like Alcorn, you guys are similar in that you have tremendous running backs. And I wanted to ask, just what have you seen in regards to Prairie View in terms of their rushing attack?
I mean, they got two backs that gonna run the ball hard, and that's the thing that we got to be ready for on defense. Plus, they got a quarterback in Conley. He's gonna do some stuff with the power read stuff, and he's mobile in the pocket. He uses his legs very well. So we got three guys that we got to contain on their offense. Defensive wise, we just got to be able to tackle in space. They got some dynamic receivers out there. We got to wrap up and be able to tackle in space. That's going to be the key. If we get those guys down in space, we'll be okay. I think that Coach Thomas is doing a great job with the defense and getting those guys routed to the football in terms of what we need to do to win this ball game this Saturday. But other than that, we just got to come out and play the Alcorn brand of football.
Sure thing. Appreciate that, Coach.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Morning, Coach. I hope you're well. Talk a little bit about Mr. Howard. 16 carries, 98 yards, and even one touchdown. His contribution to the Alcorn State University football.
Well, he's been very good since he's been here. When he came last year and his performance last year and leading up to this year, he's been good for us and played very well, played very solid. We spread the wealth around in the backfield this week. I think we had three guys in double digits in rushing carries. So I thought that was good, and we got those guys some carries too. Nico Duff has been very solid. Leatherwood's been very solid. So. Javion, he's just all around back. He does everything very well. Protection, catches out of the backfield, and run the ball very hard. So he's a downhill runner. And so the things he's been doing since he's been here has been phenomenal for this program. So he's going to continue to do that. Going to continue to be great in the things he can do for us.
Coach, Prairie View A&M comes in. How important is this particular game? They're all important. But why is this game important when you look at an opportunity to win and play a game at home and just play another football game, but a good SWAC game?
Well, it's always important because it's the first SWAC game on our division side, on the west side. So it's always important, to be able to try to get a win, your first win on that side of the conference. So the biggest thing is, Prairie View gonna come ready to play. As I said, McDowell gonna have those guys dialed up and ready to come in and roll because, this will be their second game on the west side. So we just got to come in and compete, work hard through the week like we did last night and, coming up to Tuesday practice and Wednesday. So we got to win that days and I always tell them to get paid on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great week.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. How you doing this morning, Coach McNair?
I'm doing good, sir.
Wanted to ask you a little more about your quarterback room. You talked about how they're really playing effectively in terms of what you want them to do. For Aaron Allen specifically in this last game, he was 13-18. It's really efficient. Didn't necessarily throw for a lot of yards, but in terms of being effective and being key including that last drive where you're able to essentially run out the clock there. Talk about how this allows your offense to be even more effective as you racked up 229 yards on the ground.
And it's big for us, and the things that he did was he kind of controlled the third down for us, and that was what you win the games at on third down. If you can convert on third downs and you're moving the chains up and down the field like that, man, it's very big. It's very big. I think we were just a little over 50% on third down, which could be a little bit better. But he did things that he needed to do on third down, and that's the biggest down of them all, the third down. So that's the one that's gonna give you another set of downs. So that's the big down. In terms of what we do in rushing the ball and all that kind of stuff, kind of give our defense a little more break in terms of rest, and so they can be fueled up when they come back in. So we had those 2 long drives and gave the defense a lot of rest. And it's just preparation, and those are the things that we're capable of doing. The big play is going to happen. Just tell them just do the little things right. The big thing's going to come. So we have to be have those methodical drives that get us in the box, and take some time off the clock. If you got the ball, the other team don't have it. So it was big for us, and I think Allen did a great job of, like I said, he managed the game very well.
Makes sense. In terms of the matchup with Prairie View, obviously, first conference game, it is a Western Division game, so it adds that layer to it in regards to what you want to get done from your perspective. In a bit of a way, it's kind of old school game in terms of the focus being so much on the running game and the efficiencies of what you can do on third downs. But from your defensive perspective, I'm sure that's the same thing that you want to do is stop the team on third down so they can't matriculate down the field. But how do you feel thus far for the season your defense has been fared against the run?
They've been very good. I thought that we kind of stumbled just a little bit this past week against McNair on some possessions, but they tightened it up, going out in the green zone, the red zone they call it. They kind of tightened down a little bit, and they kept them out of the end zone for the most part. They said McNair scored 3 points there, but they kept them out of the end zone. That's big. And I always tell them third down on that side, you got to get off the field on third down. Get off the field on third down. I think they was like 2 of 9 on third downs or something like that. But they're getting off the field, so that's big time stuff. We need to get off the field on third down, give your offense another opportunity to score the ball. And like I said, they had 2 big interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 3 sacks. So that's big time stuff when you talk about the way this team play on defense. And like I said, Coach Thomas done a great job of getting those guys to rally to the ball and having the team to make mistakes and getting turnovers. So that's big for us.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the game this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Coach McNair, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
All right, thank you, guys.
Cookman, Coach Woodie. You see that we have Coach Woodie there with us. Coach, as always, thank you so much for your time. If you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent opponent, Miami.
Well, I tell you, we had an opportunity to go in there, obviously, to play Miami. On offense, we sputtered. We didn't do well on third down. Defense, our technique fundamentals definitely need to be cleaned up. And special teams, we had a pretty solid game. We had 5 punts. Federico averaged 44.5 yards a punt. So, we definitely took some positives and also, negatives, from the game. But it all comes down to basic technique and fundamentals. And that's what we've been preaching. We need to clean that up in all aspects and, get ready for our next game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Mason Smith.
Good morning, Coach Woodie. How are you doing?
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm well. I got a chance to watch the game. Of course, my first question is about how the update on Luke Sprague. I know he got banged up and came out the game. I wonder how his shoulder is doing.
Well, we still waiting on, MRI. And he, X-ray showed nothing which is positive, but we're still waiting on that. Hopefully we'll hear something by the end of the day or first thing tomorrow.
Awesome. Now, obviously, Walt, the other quarterbacks kind of came and got the chance to show their stuff against Miami. What did you kind of see from them, and how are you planning to kind of govern your quarterback room getting ready for SWAC play?
Well, I tell you what, one positive, Walt, when he got in, he fought, to the last play. We drove down and had an opportunity to get on the scoreboard. And with Walt, he's had experience, came into the season, as a starter, as far as his skill set. I'm so excited about him, being able to at least, start a game and get some experience. Obviously with Luke, he had a big game week before and got banged up, and then Walt had to come in. And also we have Talik, that's have experience as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's Inside HBC Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Woodie.
Good morning.
Wanted to ask you a little bit your framework in regards to coming into your conference game from non-conference matchups. How much of a challenge is it to watch the game film to see what a team does or doesn't do well when you're breaking them down, based on the fact that the competition in non-conference may be at different divisional levels? Is that much of a challenge, or is that something that is not really something that you worry about?
No, I don't worry about it at all. It's not a challenge.
So when you get into this matchup this week with Jackson State University, what are you seeing in terms of what they do?
Jackson State, I mean, is a really good football team, obviously, just looking from afar, last year and then coming into this year, they got a lot of talent all across the field. The quarterback, I mean, they got, outstanding running back on the perimeter. Up front, they're big on both sides of the ball. They're fast on defense. Jackson State, a really good football team.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Daytona are well. You're able to get a touchdown down in Miami before the game was over. Just talk a little bit about what you can take offensively as you move forward.
Well, I tell you, just looking at what we do and how we do it, obviously Walt, he fought, and then the whole team fought. That's what I'm proud of. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, and we want to capitalize that, going into, this game, being able to see some of the things that we did well, and then obviously some of the things that we did not do well and correct it. It's all about getting better from game to game. And our motto is getting 1% better each day. And I really feel like last couple of practices, we got better.
Coach Woodie, next stop, you go into the Jackson State University, the powerhouse. Just talk a little bit about going in there. And at the end of the day, it's all about the Wildcats Nation. Yeah,
well, this is the most important game because it's the next game on our schedule. And we just have to fix what we do and how we do it. And good things will happen. We're going in to play just like we played last week. It's a game and we got to execute. And that's what it's all about, in all three aspects: offense, defense, and special team.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
You too. Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Woodie with Bethune-Cookman. Next question goes to Jay Keith.
Hey, Coach, how much of being a first-year coach have you had to change the culture, and are you still doing it?
Well, still doing it every day. I say every day, every play, and we always talk about, mastering the 5 A's. And then, our philosophy is smart. We want to be smart on the field, off the field, outside and out in the classroom, and, just mastering the 5 A's: alignment, assignment, adjustment, alert, and then the attack part. And coming in, when you have numerous of new players, just getting them to understand, hey, love equals time. If you love someone, you want to spend time, just develop that continuity of playing for each other. And, every day is a process. And you just have to stick to what you believe in and just keep progressing.
Coach, on the follow-up, any surprises on both sides of the ball to you so far this year?
Well, I can tell you this. We have, like with our quarterbacks, I mean, we're playing different quarterbacks as far as skill set, but I tell you, Jimmy Robinson, I mean, he's running the ball hard, and Jojo Brazil, as well. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Amari, Jones, he's stepping it up, and also, Amari Hill Robinson. I mean, he plays consistent as he's been doing since he got to BCU.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coach Simmons.
All right, let me get my camera on.
Okay.
There we go. So, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Coach. And always, Coach, we appreciate you take some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus West Florida.
Well, definitely a great way to start our home slate this year. No better way than to honor the great Ken Riley by naming the field Ken Riley Field at Brad Memorial Stadium. So just slow first half. Offensively, defensively played lights out the entire game. Halftime challenged the guys to play with more effort, and they came out and did that the second half and was able to have 4 straight scoring drives and put the game out of reach. So definitely excited about the win over a quality West Florida football team that's ranked in the Division II top 5, and again keeps our nation's second longest win streak intact at 16 games. So excited about the opportunity to play at home again this weekend against a very talented Alabama State team that we know will come and bring a lot of people, and the band. It'll be a great atmosphere. So looking forward to another SWAC East Divisional game, and got to have a great week of preparation.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Tallahassee are well. Mr. Jeremy Musa, Mr. Jennings, and also Mr. Riley, among other Rattlers. Just talk about those 3 gentlemen and what they were able to do.
Well, Jeremy, after a slow first half, was able to have a phenomenal third quarter, 10 of 11, I think 2 or 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. And Terrell broke a long run there, late in the game. So the guys made plays in the second half they're capable of making. And that's what we expect. We have the talent. We have the ability. It's just about doing it consistently. And so glad to see those guys put together a good second half. So we've shown in 3 games that we can play good for a half. Now the challenge is to show that we can do it for 60 minutes.
Coach, the great Ken Riley, obviously the field has been honored in his name, and you look at the history and the tradition at Bragg Memorial Stadium. Just talk a little bit about that. You alluded to it, and then there's no place like home. The streak continues, and it's all about the Rattlers.
Well, Ken meant so much to this program as a player, then as a coach, and then finally as an athletic director and then supporter, that this is long overdue. It was long overdue for him to get into the hall, and it's been long overdue to honor him here at the university. So I want to give a huge shout out to VP at AD Tiffany Sykes for seeing the vision and pushing the envelope to make this thing a reality. So for him to be enshrined as well as have the field repurposed in his name is just, again, a great testament to the legacy that he lived.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Thank you, James.
Next question goes to Mason Smith.
All right, good morning, Coach. Mason Smith from HBCU Legends. I wanted to ask you about going against an Alabama State defense, specifically that secondary. Obviously, FAMU is very talented with Musa, Jamari, Shareed, and others in a passing game. But what is it like kind of going against a really stout, passing defense?
Well, obviously, every game is going to pose a set of challenges. They have different strengths, and one of those strengths is a talented secondary group. And so, we'll have our hands full. Last year, they were able to disrupt us, throw off our timing on some passing routes. Obviously, force Jeremy into 3 turnovers. So definitely got to schematically do some things to free some guys up. And then when we have one-on-one matchups, we have to win our fair share. But again, great challenge for our guys. And I think the receiving core and the tight end group will be up for the challenge.
When it comes to Musa specifically, obviously the notion this year that he's left a lot of points on the table, there are some throws he could have made. What has it been like, as a quarterback's coach as well, just seeing how he's progressed throughout this year?
Well, when the expectations are through the roof, that's kind of the downside to it. He's preseason player of the year, so people expect him to make every throw. We expect him to lead. We expect him to not be perfect, but be as close to it as possible. And so he's human. He's still a quarterback that's learning to play the game, as perfectly as he can play it. And so, like we talked about, yes, because the expectations are so high, there are some negatives that come to not performing at that level all the time. But that comes with the quarterback position. Like I told him when he first got here, the quarterback, the play caller, and the head coach are going to get all the criticism. Well, I'm 2 of those 3, the play caller and the head coach. So I'll take my fair share of criticism. But as a quarterback, he has to be prepared to take his. So he's played well enough for us to win. And as long as he continues to do so, we think everything else will take care of itself.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question goes to Dr. Mike Prince.
Good morning, Coach. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Doc.
All right. Well, look, congratulations on your home win. And as you prepare for your conference game, it's all about matchups when you're looking up and down the chart. When you analyze what Alabama State brings to the table and what you bring to the table, what are the things that you have confidence in your squad about being able to execute, and what are some of the concerns that you have on stopping Alabama State?
Well, I think the thing that always gives us a good outlook is that we're a talented football team. I think everyone knows that. And so for us, it's about, we can execute and play the way we're capable of playing and protect the ball. I don't know if there's any team that schematically can do anything to truly stop us. We can be maybe slowed down some, but again, if we do what we're capable of doing, I don't know if anybody can quote unquote stop this offense. So that's the encouraging part. But they do pose their set of challenges. They do some things that obviously we'll have to be prepared for. A good deal of man pressure that they brought last year, some 5- and 6-man pressures that gave us some fits last year. And again, we got to be ready for those. And so, but it goes down back to it. If we execute, play at a high level, we'll be fine. And then offensively, they do a lot with personnel grouping. So, we got to be ready for that and see what we can see from up top, get the right people on the field and match them and play football. And then obviously in special teams, they blocked the punt last year for a touchdown. So we got to be sound in that area to not give them cheap possessions. They've already scored this year on the pick 6. And so they found unconventional ways to score. And whenever you can do that, it obviously helps your football team.
Okay, my follow-up, Coach, it appears that in-house that you have had the shortcomings in the past wherever you've been coaching about extended play if you fall short in conference play. And you said you've tried everything that they said, but it appears to be a moving target. Have you all taken the mentality that we're just going to do things our way and take care of the games within conference and let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, our number one goal coming into the season was the Celebration Bowl. Anything after that is kind of a secondary thought, and we'll get to that point if that time presents itself. But right now, we're still in control of our own destiny. And so winning the SWAC East, winning the SWAC Championship, and then obviously, winning the Celebration Bowl were the goals that we set out for ourselves this year. And until that changes, that's why our focus will remain.
All right. Thanks, Coach, and good luck this week, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBC Sports Lab. So I see you have a focus to try to meet me in Atlanta. I like that. With that being said, Coach, I wanted to ask you a little bit about halftime. As you said, the first half, you weren't as efficient as you would want to be on offense, probably in all components of it. Were there some things that were tactically done, schematically done at halftime, or was it more just about slowing folks down to be focused about some little things that they may have not been doing here.
Yeah, the biggest challenge at halftime was just to play with the intensity that we know we can play with. I didn't talk to them anything about schematics. Now, special teams wise, we had to talk about leveraging the ball on kickoff coverage. You know, because they were able to pop a couple of returns there that we didn't leverage the ball very well. Didn't get a great kick. But other than that, you know, there were no schematic talks on offense or defense. Defense was playing great, so they did their part. But offensively, we weren't playing hard enough. You know, we weren't straining. They were playing with more effort than we were. We didn't break any tackles, and you know, we're dynamic. And if you're not breaking tackles, that means they have a more emphasis to get you on the turf than you do to break a tackle. So weren't straining blocks out on the perimeter in the box. Running backs weren't running hard enough. So Jeremy wasn't sitting there making throws under duress. So let's you know, we had some choice terms that we used that I won't repeat, but we had to play rattler football, and we came out the second half and showed that when we do that, we can move the ball against anybody.
Follow-up question is, speaking a little bit about playing rattler football, can you provide some insight in regards to what things you do in terms of working with your football to meet those expectations of getting better play-by-play, game-by-game, doing the things that are necessary to have the level of success that you've had thus far?
Well, it's just all in your preparation. You know, so mental preparation, you know, how we watch film, you know, how we give tests, you know, walkthroughs, all those things. And then the physical preparation. So how we practice, you know, tempo, pads or no pads, and whatever it is. And our guys have to get to the point where they understand that regardless of whether we're in helmets or full pads, that the speed has to be the same, the attention to detail has to be the same. The physicality obviously changes, but that's the only thing that changes. And so I think right now our guys kind of sometimes think when the pads come off, we don't have to go as fast. You know, we got to play with the same tempo, whether we're in a practice with helmets or or no pads. And walkthrough is different. When we walk through, that's a different tempo. But Sunday night, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon, those are the 4 full speed practices that we have. We have to practice full speed, whether we have all our gear on or some of our gear. And I think once our guys mature to that point, we'll be able to play the 60-minute game that we're capable of.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Good luck.
Thank you, Doc.
Coach Simmons, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Grambling State. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize your raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for our coaches. All right, you see that we have Coach Jackson with us. Coach, as always, we sincerely appreciate your time for jumping on this call. If you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Florida Memorial.
No, we were excited to be at home playing Florida Memorial. Got an opportunity to get a win. Our guys are excited to host another game here at home.
So appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBC Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Jackson. How's it going?
Good. Good morning to you.
I want to talk about Miles Crowley and your offense. Been extremely efficient throughout the year, really, but particularly in this last home game, 14-27, 220, 3 touchdowns, as you know. Is he matriculating in your offense as you would expect them at this time of the year?
No, he is. There's no question he is. But still, he's got to continue to grow week in and week out. He's going to face different defenses as we take this journey during the season. There are some balls I'm sure he would love to have had back this past week, but he's going to continue to grow and continue to get better.
Follow-up question is about the next matchup. Get into conference play with Texas Southern coming here. They played 2 quarterbacks this year. Talk a little bit about, in terms of your defense, although this past game they would be able to get some takeaways, key, but seems like they've been able to, the run has been something that may concern you. How do you look at that in terms of this phase with Texas Southern University?
No, absolutely. It's concerned me. We need to continue to get better. in that area. We got to make sure we handle the run better. Gap control is obviously going to be really important when you play Texas Southern. They have quarterbacks that can run the ball. They have really good running backs that can run the football. So we're going to have to really do a great job this week in practice of focusing on that. We're going to have to gang tackle the ball and do a little bit better job of getting that yardage production down.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, I hope you and everyone at Grambling State University are well, Coach. Talk about Mr. Williams. He was able to go up and get a few 3 receptions, 103 yards, and 1 touchdown.
No, it's exciting to see some of our young players starting to emerge. You know, Tylen Williams is a very talented young kid out of Zachary, high school. Did a great job for us this past week. Made some tremendous plays. We've been waiting on that, and it's starting to show itself. Him and Javon Robinson, they've been 2 guys that have been really good players, very good young players. They're freshmen, and they're new to our system, but they've really done a good job of, in matriculating themselves into the culture and understanding what we're asking of them, and they've been making plays for us.
Coach, how the West was won. SWAC West matchup. 2 teams will be fighting. All the teams will be playing hard this weekend, but talk about your opportunity coming up.
Oh, absolutely. This gets us off, conference play on the right foot. We're here at home. We need to, take care of business here at home and start the opening conference the right way. Obviously, our aspirations is to win the West. So this is how it starts right here. We got to go protect our home, do a great job of playing football, get better this week in all phases of our football team, and go get a win.
Have a great week, Coach Jackson.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Prince.
Good morning, Coach. How are you today, sir?
Doing great.
All right. Well, congratulations on your home win. And it's always good to get that first home win. And as you were just talking about how the West was won, and we know that the skill possessions or positions are always the ones that are focused on. But these games, as you know, are won in the trenches. And how do you like your O-line matchup against Texas Southern D-line and vice versa?
I like our offensive line. I like what we're doing. I like, it's exactly where we are right now. I think we have a good group of guys who are starting to gel. It's going in game number 4. So I think those guys kind of know each other a little bit better. But I kind of like this matchup. But again, we're going to play against a very, very, very talented Texas Southern team, and we've seen some good teams already. So we won't be surprised by their skill and their athleticism.
Okay, Coach. Well, good luck to you on this week, sir.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Jay Keith.
Hey, Coach, how are you this morning?
Doing well.
Hey, where do you think you guys are at as far as your expectations in year 2 of your progression and changing the culture we talked about last year?
I think the culture is definitely changing. I think the expectation of winning is there. I think our guys understand that the work has to be put in week and week out. And I think we're starting to hit our stride. We got to go win this West division is what we need to do, but you can only do that if you start winning these games one at a time. And we need to go win at home this week against Texas Southern.
And do you like the consistency of your team and the effort they give in the last 4 weeks or 3 weeks so far?
Oh, absolutely. I love the effort of our football team. I like the focus of our football team. Wish we had a couple more wins under our belt, but we'll take where we are, and we gotta make hay from here.
Thank you, Coach.
Currently taking questions for Coach Jackson with Grambling State. Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach Jackson, you talked about your young man from Zachary High School. Can you talk about your recruitment strategy and the state of Louisiana and the amount of talent that comes out of those high schools?
Well, as you know, there's a ton of talent in this area. We're trying to do a great job of keeping the talent home. I think it's important for our program. We're going to do everything we can to put a lock around a bunch of fences that are around here and see if we can get these young men to stay here and come to Grambling State University. But obviously, as you know, in this state, there's some other universities as well. We have great respect for those schools. But boy, we're looking for a certain type of player to come here and be a G-man. We have a profile of the players that we're looking for that fit our offense, defense, and special team schemes. And if guys have that character that we're looking for, but we're going to go after them as hard as we can. So I feel good about what we've done thus far. I think we got to continue to be better in that area because we know that's the lifeblood of our program is recruiting, and we got to continue to do a great job that way. And I think we will.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach Jackson with Grambling State? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Arkansas Pine Bluff. Coach Hampton with the Golden Lions. Coach, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing there at home versus Miles.
Obviously, it was a great environment we had on Saturday. Excited to get the win for the players and the coaches. And I think now everybody can kind of relax, just kind of coach football. And I told the staff and the players, man, the hardest one is the first one. And now everybody's on the same page and we can go in and make corrections. So we're excited about that. Had practice on Sunday because we got the early game coming up on Thursday against Alabama A&M, but we're excited about it.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Mason Smith.
Good afternoon, or I guess good morning, Coach, in your area. I wanted to talk to you about last week's win because, like you said, it's challenging to get the first one. And, of course, when you're developing a new program, getting that first one is almost like a result of seeing all your hard work pay off. How have you seen your team basically act since they got the first win? Now they see, hey, all our hard work is finally attributed to a victory.
Well, I mean, obviously, man, we didn't get a chance. We had about 3 hours to celebrate because you had to be back on the practice field on Sunday. But no, I mean, anytime you're building a program, setting a foundation, you just need a kid to have success. And obviously, we've been able to have some success individually, but as a whole, it was great to get the victory. And we played a great Miles College football team. Obviously, the week before they had beat, Alabama State. And, man, we jumped out on them early, but those guys didn't fight. I mean, they didn't quit. They fought us to the end. And so we were able to pull it out. And in the past, we haven't been able to do that. Just so I was proud of our guys sticking to it, and we finished it off.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question goes to Henry Pugh.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Doing good. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Henry Pugh with HBCU Hour. Coach, now that you've got the first one out of the way, you've got to turn around on a short week and go to I guess you could say, upset Alabama A&M. How do you mentally just, I guess, flip the switch to go from, I guess, being celebratory to now, you're back in game mode?
Well, obviously for us, man, you got a lot of respect for Alabama A&M. Just a couple of years ago, they were SWAC champions, and they got a really good football program. Coach Maynor does a good job. And so for us, it's the first conference game. And so that in itself is enough to get you motivated. And like I told our guys, man, we got to go out there and play a great game, have great focus throughout the week. It's a short week. We got a 6-hour bus ride. 6 will turn into about 8. And at the end of the day, nobody cares about your problems. And so what we got to do is we got to lock in and get focused and come out and ready to roll, man, and put a great game plan together for our players to go out and execute, give us opportunity to win the game.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Hampton, I hope you and everybody in Pine Bluff are well. In that first game, you were able to score early, and then it was about the defense in the fourth quarter. Take us back into that part of it and holding on, if you will, to get a victory.
Obviously, like I said, man, I talked to the kids all week about starting fast, and we were able to get up 14-0. The defense was playing well. We had 2 more opportunities to score right before half. We had the ball 1st and 10 on the +19, didn't punch the ball in. And that's kind of frustrating as a head coach. And then, obviously we knew we were getting the ball coming back out after half. And we had another drive that started on the +39. We missed the field goal. We didn't get any points. So it's just frustrating from that perspective. But our young men, obviously, as Miles started coming back, our kids were able to kind of settle in. And as a coach, you were excited to see that part of it, just to watch your players kind of say, hey, coach, we got it. Just, relax for a minute. And then we were able to get a couple 4th down stops. And again, man, Miles did a good job. Miles, Coach Shade and his coaches and their players did a good job, man, and they challenged us to the end. And we were able to get a block extra point to really make it 21-20, keep it there. And then they were driving to kick a field goal in the end. About a minute, 30 seconds left, we were able to get a strip on a running back, and we took the ball down to like the 30-yard line. So that was big for us, big for our program. And like I said, man, we're just excited to have a win under our belt. And now everybody can relax. And we're looking forward to the matchup on Thursday.
Coach, you're putting your stamp on this football program. You move into the Bulldogs on the road, long bus ride, the camaraderie. Just talk a little bit about Thursday. It's an opportunity to move forward, and it's all about the Golden Lions.
I mean, obviously, I like playing road games. I mean, I know most people like playing at home, and it's fun for the kids because their family and friends can watch them. But on the road is where you grow because it's just you versus them. And I tell people all the time, all you really need is a team of brothers that band together and come together, man. When we get to Huntsville on Wednesday night, we'll have a chance to fellowship. Then on Thursday, we'll get up and get us some chapel in. And then, man, we'll go out there and we'll lock arms with each other. And I like it because it's us on that sideline, our fans, the ones that decide to come, is versus them. And it should be loud. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And so I'm excited about that. I like being the underdog. And so our players know, man, we were picked last. So, I mean, listen, ain't no pressure on us, is it?
I hear you, Coach. Thank you so much. Have a blessed week.
Yes, sir. You too, Mr. Hill.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Hampton.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning,
no pressure.
Sir.
No pressure.
Coach. No pressure at all.
I like it. Talk about in that game. In a lot of ways, as you said this before, it was an overall team win. But following this game in terms of the game plan, looking at it from a play-by-play perspective, one of the key components of the game late in there was the ability to get that key stop on 4th and 2 late in that contest. Obviously, some things played out and you made some other plays, but I thought that was big in terms of beat. What did you see going into that play that made your defense effective to get that key stop?
Well, I'll be honest, Mr. Cavill, Dr. Cavill. All year, our defense played pretty well. It's just at moments, it's kind of like we break at a moment and somebody doesn't do their job and then they're able to get a big play. And that's what happened. Again, they got them down there, but Coach Callaway called a tremendous defense and the kids executed and was able to hit them behind the line of scrimmage. And so I think that's where we're at as a program. Everybody is trying to kind of like find their way and say, this is my role on the team. And so once we begin to do that, obviously offensively, they played really well second half against Tennessee State. Then we come out really fast and then we kind of went into a lull. But a lot of that is just self-inflicted wounds. Man, we had 10 penalties. We haven't had 10 penalties in the first 2 games. So it's very uncharacteristic of who we are as a football team. And obviously, man, we just got to do a better job, up front to protect the quarterback and got to be able to run the football. We had a freshman running back come in. He rushed for over 100 yards. And so we had a running back the last couple of weeks. He's been averaging over 100 yards. So we can run the football, but it's just a mindset. And I want a tough-minded football team. And I think our kids are starting to understand when I say what tough-minded means. We're playing a tough-minded football team this week. Man, they do a good job of running the football. They got tremendous athletes on the edges. And then defense, they play hard. And special teams, they got some players back there. If you kick it in the wrong spot, they can take it the distance. So we have our work cut out for us. But like I told the kids, man, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. This is a golden opportunity for us to go in and show who we're going to be throughout the year. We played 3 games. Now it's time for us to play well on offense, defense, and special team and put it all together. And so now you can kind of decrease all the drag. You don't have a lot of things going on. It's a 6-hour bus ride with your teammates. And we get a chance to fellowship and just let's get closer together and let's put our stamp on this program and let's start this process off the right way. Get what we obviously all want is a SWAC championship.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations on your first win as a head coach with this program, Golden Lions. Congratulations to the players, the staff, all involved. look forward to the matchup this weekend. Well,
Yes, sir.
Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Next question goes to Mo Carter.
Hey, Coach, Mo Carter here in Huntsville. Hope you guys have a safe trip to Huntsville on this upcoming week. My only question for you for this upcoming week with Alabama A&M, clearly Coach Maynor and company have been known more to be an offensive team, but this year they kind of turned it up on the defense. So what are your thoughts about how the Golden Lions can attack this Alabama A&M defense on Thursday night?
Because we just got to go out and do what we do. And obviously, like you said, they've been known to be an offensive team. I've had a chance to watch all 3 of the games, but they're doing a really good job on the defense side of football. All we got to do is just, do our 111. And that's what I've been trying to get instilled into our players. You don't have to do anybody else's job but your own. If you do your portion of it, we go in part, whole. If you do your part, the next person do his part, we're going to get the whole product that we want. And so obviously we got our work cut out, but our offensive staff, man, they know we haven't played well the first 3 games, and they're in there working right now. We got to do a better job of sustaining drives. Man, we were 1 of 14 on 3rd down. That's unacceptable. And so we got to be better all around on offense. And, obviously we will be this week. And, so we're looking forward to the matchup.
All right, Coach, look forward to see you on Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Hey, Coach, hope you're doing well this morning. Look, you mentioned earlier Alabama A&M and their running attack. They got a couple of running backs, ran the ball really well their first 2 games. Southern really did a good job stopping them last week. What do you guys have to do defensively to have the kind of success that Southern had?
Well, I don't know if Southern stopped them. I don't know if they didn't run it much. They wasn't out there much. But, I mean, listen, I told my staff this. I think Alabama A&M has the best 2 running backs in this league. I mean, obviously a lot of good running backs, but they got a couple guys that can make you miss in the hole, and they can take the distance. They got big old linemen. Like I said, the quarterbacks are good. They run the ball as well. I mean, I think that game could have went either way. And obviously, congratulations to Coach Dooley and Southern. I respect him to the utmost. And Coach Miller, the D coordinator, that's my guy. I worked under him at UAPB. So they had a great game plan. But obviously, as coaches, you go back and watch the film, and it's one play here, one missed block here. And that game could have went either way. So like I said, man, those guys are doing a tremendous job, got some really good tailbacks, and we got to be committed to stopping the run. And let's just call it what it is. If we don't stop the run, it's going to be a long Thursday night for the Golden Lions. So that's what we're focusing on, being able to stop the run. And obviously, we're not crazy enough to think that they can't throw the ball because they got really good guys on the edges. And for our offense, it's time to show up. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's time to show up and play Golden Line football. We talked about playing fast and being fearless. That we need to do that on Thursday night to give ourselves a chance to win this game.
And then, Coach, just real quick, obviously the first conference game of the year and first conference game for you as a head coach. How is everybody feeling going into that one, just from starting conference play perspective?
Coach, at the end of the day now, everything's turned up. Everything's magnified because everything matters. When I say everything matters, it's conference play. Those games matter. So you can control your own destiny. You don't have to worry about what happened the week before. So now let's get this thing started off on the right foot. And again, they're playing at home. They get to sleep in their beds or hotels, however they do it over there. But we just got to, like I say, band together as brothers, enjoy the bus ride, enjoy the scenery, get some good food, relax, and come out on Thursday, man, ready to play Golden Line football. And I think we'll be okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Hampton, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
I appreciate it. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you. We'll now go to Mississippi Valley State. Hey, Coach Wade. Coach Wade, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. If you could, please start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Delta State.
Yes, sir. First of all, good morning to everybody, and congrats to Coach Hampton for his first one. We're still looking to get that one, buddy, so congrats on that. I see the excitement and hear it in your voice. Delta State, congrats to Coach Cooley and his football team. They played well for 60 minutes. We had a good half. We played a good first half. We went in up 7-6 at the half, and those guys kept playing, and we just got to be able to put 60 minutes together. Our next opponent is the defending national HBCU national champs, North Carolina Central, and we looking forward and we're excited about that matchup.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Bradley Davis.
Hi, Coach. I apologize. My camera is not working this morning, but Bradley Davis with WAPT in Jackson. It's good to meet you. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Bradley, I'm good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you taking the time. And so you just mentioned North Carolina Central and then Florida A&M after that, two, really, really tough tests. Given how the beginning of the season, how do you get this young team really forget the past, refocus, and, get them confident in themselves that they have a chance with these next two games?
Just by winning today, by doing the things that we've been doing. It hadn't equated to a victory yet, but again, just keep winning today and just keep focusing on the process, staying true to who we are and what we do. We never really go into a week talking about an opponent. We hadn't done that, and we're not going to do it now. We're just going to stay true to who we are and what we do, show up each and every day and put our best foot forward.
And just a quick follow-up, how excited are the guys to go up to Indy for this big Circle City Classic?
Man, they excited. Any opportunity we get to go and play ball, man, they excited about it. So, you see guys walking through the facility, they are excited about it. But again, we got to put together a good practice day today. So we're looking forward to today's practice.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone at the Valley are well. Talk a little bit about that first half up in Cleveland at Delta State, what you liked about that part of the game.
We executed at a high level the first half of that game. We played with tremendous energy and effort, and we converted on third downs. And in the second half, we didn't do so. They did. So we went 4 out of 16 on third down, and they went 7 for 15. So I think the biggest part was the first half we executed at a high level. In the second half, we didn't.
Coach, the HBCU experience highlights a lot of classics. Obviously, Circle City, Indianapolis, Valley comes in, and also, as you alluded to, the defending national champions, Celebration Bowl, MEAC in North Carolina Central. Talk about this opportunity. It's a big game. It's a great opportunity. What do you see going in?
First and foremost, Circle City Classic is a top-notch organization. They've reached out to us, and everything that we want, everything that we need, they've already ensured that we have everything that we need. So as far as the game itself, I mean, that's why you come here. That's why you come to Valley. That's why you come to the SWAC to play in big games like this. Get an opportunity to play against the, MEAC champs, the HBCU champs. Man, these are games you look forward to. So again, we're super excited about it and really looking forward to the opportunity, the challenge, however you want to look at it. And we can't wait to get up there.
Safe travels and have a blessed week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next question goes to Mason Smith.
Good morning, Coach Wade. How you doing, sir?
Mason, how you doing, my man?
And I'm doing all right. I'm actually glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that the crew in Indianapolis already made sure that you have everything you needed for this neutral site game. I did want to ask you about your quarterback situation, obviously getting ready for SWAC play, not this week, but next week. You've seen Dino Maldonado. We saw the true freshman. We've seen Jamari Jones. What have you seen from your quarterback so far this year?
Well, Jamari has been dealing with a shoulder injury since the first game. So he didn't play as much. He played a couple plays and he re-injured that shoulder. So we're waiting on his status. And they know he came in and he played pretty well. Our true freshman, Ty Williams, we're probably going to start off with him. We always said if it's close, then we're going to go with our freshman. And it's been pretty close with all three of those guys. So right now it's pretty even. And like I said, if it's even, we're going with the freshman. So it's still going to be worked out this week at practice, see who's going to have the better week. And that's who we're going to roll out there with.
Absolutely. Now, kind of going back just a little bit about, post Central State game. One thing that I learned from your players is the fact they're behind you 110%. As a coach, especially a first-year coach, how does it feel knowing that your entire team is behind you, on the field and off the field?
Man, look, man, we here to win games. We judged off of that, but it's bigger than that. you know, man, the love that we all have of each other, you know, and these kids will run through a brick wall for us, and they know we'll do the same for them. So, man, I can't even put it into words like how great it feels, win, lose, or draw, how these kids just keep showing up each and every day. Their enthusiasm today is the same as it was when the season first kicked off because they truly believe. And that's why we feel good around here, because we got a shot. And it's a process. I know the program that I took over, it wasn't going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. But we're all embracing it and enjoying the process of going from where we used to be to where we're going to be. And we're not there yet. We're not there. We're not close. But we're trending in the right direction. And 100% of that goes to these young men that's walk through this building each and every day. So I'm proud to be their coach. I love them, and they know I love them. This entire coaching staff, we all love these kids like they're our own. So, man, it feels great to be here at the Valley. Even sitting at 0-2, we feeling really good right now.
Absolutely, Coach. Beautifully said, and good luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach Wade with Mississippi Valley State? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll now go to Prairie A&M. Head Coach McDowell. Do see that we have Coach with us. Coach, as always, sincerely appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. If you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at SMU.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Yeah, again, going into this game, we wanted to just see these guys, see how these guys go and compete. Can say against a group of guys, team that's just up and coming, SMU, and again, just wanted to see how they was going to compete, see if we can cut down on the mistakes that we've been that's been hurting us the last 3 games since TSU games. Defensively, again, we just we still have some things to work on as well, but overall, I'm proud of the guys. They competed in spots. Now we just have to go back and regroup, reset, get ready to go up to Alcorn and go down to Alcorn and play against a really good team in a great atmosphere.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to Charles Bishop.
Morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Morning.
I wanted to ask a little bit about going to Alcorn, a tough, intimidating environment, but just the process of taking your team to a tough environment and you guys kind of galvanize and coming together to play good football.
Yeah, we know it's going to be a tough environment, great environment to play football. 2 teams that know each other really well, pretty talented on both sides of the ball. They got quarterbacks, we got quarterbacks. They got a backfield, we got a backfield. Defensively, both teams are pretty good. So again, for us, just we had to come back, hit the reset button, just get back to the fundamentals, and figure out how to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, from game 1 to this past weekend, we able to move the ball, have guys stop. We make bad mistakes, whether it be personal fouls, then again, or just jumping off sides or, false start, so we got to correct those things. And that's kind of what we're doing this whole week, in order for us to go down there and be the team that we're capable of being. We got to cut out a lot of those mistakes.
Follow up, you guys, and you kind of touched on it, you kind of mirror each other. Both of you all have very dynamic backfields, but talk about the challenge of stopping this Alcorn backfield, especially a guy like Jarvian Howard, who had a huge game last year against PB.
Yeah, little Marshawn Lynch. I mean, they done snuck him in there. Dude can run, man. He run. He's powerful, man. And again, we gotta, as a defensive unit, we gotta get back to tackling. We even missed a lot of tackles in the SMU game. We had, we had chances to stop them or put them in long yardage. But again, it's about, tackling, man. That's an attitude. I mean, I don't know how much you can really teach that, other than just going through the motion of form tackling. But you got to have that attitude going into this game or any game that you're playing in if you want to be successful as a defense and stop big running backs like this, or even slash running backs like in Duff, So we know what we're going up against. The challenge is going to be there, and to me, is really, again, as I told them all year long, it's about us going out and playing 4 quarters of football, and the best team's going to win. Whoever plays the 4 quarters of football. Good
Sure
football.
thing. Appreciate you, Coach. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to Dr. Prince. Dr. Prince, you're on mute, sir. All right, we'll try to get back to Dr. Prince. We'll take our next question from James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody are well. Trezon, just talk about the quarterback position and what you would like to see there and what you think about that gentleman at this point.
Hey, Jay, good to hear from you again. See you again. Yeah, I mean, he's getting better and better. Again, not a lot, should I say, things that we still need to work on in order for him to be the best QB that he can be in the SWAC. Yes, but again, do I have confidence in him getting it done? Absolutely. So again, like I said, JH, we coming back this week, hit the reset button and just getting the fundamental things down. Because again, if we just do those little things right, as I've always preached to them, as talented as we are, we can move the ball, we can run the ball, we can score, but again, we just can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. And you get over that hurdle, we'll be a pretty good darn team, going forward.
Coach, how the West was won, the SWAC West, Prairie View at Alcorn, the reservation. It has the makings of everything, but just talk a little bit about going in there and getting what you need out of that particular game.
Again, I reiterate, I mean, great atmosphere, great place to play, a college football game. I mean, not just HBCU football game, but just a college game. Their fans come out, they support their team, and it's always great to, play, in a stadium like that, whether you're home or away. Like I tell guys, you got to get up for games like this. When you go into an environment like that, again, you're gonna have we're gonna have some of our fans there as well. But man, going to an atmosphere like this, I mean, if you can't get up for a football game like this, and then you don't need to be playing. And so that's what we're trying to teach our young men is, hey, be ready for the occasion at all times. Because again, you go in prepared, good things gonna happen.
Have a blessed week, sir.
You too, sir.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBC Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Buck.
What up, Doc? What's up, buddy?
I'm good. Wanted to ask you a little bit about how's your health coming out of that game?
Good. I mean, that was one of the things too. Going into the game, we wanted to come out healthy, and we did for the most part. Little bruise here and there, but nothing bad. Again, we had some young bucks we had to throw in the fire, because we had some old linemen, three of our starters down. So 2 could have came back, but we didn't want to be smart and not put them in that game and get ready for this game this week. So, but for the most part, we came out pretty healthy. And then, like I say, now we just gotta get those injuries, those little nicks and knacks that we have right now with the guys, and get them healed and get ready to go play a good football team.
As you alluded to earlier in the dialogue in regards to these teams in some fashions mirror each other, particularly the ability to run the ball pretty effectively. Mm-hmm. Talk about your defense and the need to be stout against the run and efficient on third down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been good at that, when stopping guys, and we've been very good against the run. Like I said, we even had, our chances, even against SMU, to stop them several times. And I know the score doesn't show it, but we did up front. We've been playing well up front all year long so far. So again, now it's just about us going out, taking care of business, getting no gaps, no responsibility done, and, running to the ball, and more importantly, making the tackle. I mean, again, against a big back, like, slasher back that they have in those two young men, you got to be on your P's and Q's, and you got to be able to tackle these guys, because if not, they can take it to the house really, really quickly, and the game can get out of hand.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup.
Thank you, sir.
Currently taking questions for Coach McDowell of Prairie View A&M. Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we do have one final question. We'll take a question from Dr. Prince.
Good morning, Coach. I'm sorry about that earlier. Couldn't get my mute button on. I know the game and the score doesn't indicate what it was, but the one thing that I took as a great positive, you made a major adjustment. I want to know what that message was. You had 9 penalties in the first half, and at the end of the game, you had 9 penalties. What was the message as getting the guys to get their, acts together and get calmer heads?
Yeah, they was gonna get on that line first thing Monday morning, and they was gonna run gas like they're tired. We're
yes, sir.
Yeah, we're pretty good. We're moving the ball, we're stopping guys, but again, we make bad mistakes, stupid penalties, at a crucial time, and and that can hurt you. And again, when it's time to get off the field, let's get off the field. When it's time to make that third down run, catch, to get that first down, we got to do it, and we're capable of doing that. But again, we can't go, take 1 step forward and 5 steps backwards. Again, that's why I said we hit the reset button, get back to the fundamentals, and hopefully we can get these things corrected, and then as we go in, prepare to play against a talented team.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, as you say, you guys are coming off, you put this one behind the belt, you're pretty much healthy going into this game. What are the confidence levels of your players, and what do you see some things that you can take advantage of in this week's matchup?
Yeah, I mean, we've never lacked confidence. Again, our guys know that they pretty darn good across the board from front to back defensively, from the O-line to the running backs to the quarterback to the wide receivers. Again, we just go out. We have to go out and make plays. We got to do what we do best, and that is to make plays. Again, if we do that for 4 quarters of football, Mike, we pretty damn good. So, but again, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot when we have that opportunity to get that first down or touchdown. I think one thing we definitely have to correct this week is the special teams side of it. We've been lackluster effort, with the special team, and I know Coach Watson going to get these guys going. Again, getting in position, like against SMU, we're driving the ball, get in position to at least put points on the board, and then we get it blocked, they score. So we got to get those things corrected again, and I know we will, because again, we can, and again, not just against any PWI or SWAC. I mean, any school, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and you're making mistakes in crucial times, it can cost you. So we got to get it corrected, and we will, and get ready to play a good football team.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you this week, sir, and travel safe.
Thank you, sir.
Coach McDowell, as always, we appreciate your time, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Congrats, Coach Hamp.
We'll now go to Southern University and head coach Dooley. Coach Dooley, as always, thanks so much for taking some time to join us. If you could please start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alabama A&M.
Well, good morning. Going into this contest, we knew it was going to be a battle, just who can make maybe 1 or 2 more plays than the other team. Coach Maynor came in and understood what he wanted to do and worked his game plan. We were fortunate enough to make a couple of more plays than they did and came out with the victory. Still have some things that we feel that we need to work on.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Jim Klein-Peter.
Hi, Coach. Yeah, I noticed you shuffled your offensive line before the game and then during the game, and I was wondering, after watching it on film, how did you grade their performance, and do you think you're going to keep on making some tweaks there?
No, right now, when you talk about getting into the third game of the season, you got to already have that game plan and have those guys together and know the chemistry that you need to put on the field. Throughout the course of the game, of course, you're going to change some guys because some guys can get injured. Some guys can have something that they can't come back from. So you make a sudden change right there. So that's not a huge issue right now, but we feel real good. We got some guys coming back that have not played. So it's not going to be any shuffling, just getting the right chemistry out there with those guys. And we feel that we got something that we can start with.
Mm-hmm. And what did you see? What's the nature of the troubles y'all are having running the ball? Is it the running backs? Is it the line? Where's the problem there?
It's all 11. We don't never point a finger at one. When you're having issues, that's why they have 11 guys on the football field. It's going to take all 11 to make that play work. So everybody got to do their job. And when they do their job, you have success. I think we had some spurts in the game where everyone did do their job and results came out. Good results came out. So we're just going to continue, just like guys said, we're going to continue to grind to get that aspect going and understand what we need to do. And I feel real confident in that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Congratulations, Coach Dooley, on your first victory of the year. Can we talk about how you would grade your coaching staff on preparation for this past Saturday's game?
Well, they're going to always prepare the way they're supposed to prepare. At the end of the day, you got to go out and execute at a high level. That's something that would never be an issue for me. I don't worry about those guys are professionals. Those guys know how to get teams ready. This is not their first time doing this here. These guys been doing it longer than some guys been living. So that's not an issue. That's never been an issue of me right there as far as getting guys, but them getting guys prepared. Those guys are going to be prepared and do the things that needs to be done. So as far as me grading that right there, that's not an issue. Maybe an issue for some, but that's not my issue right now. My issue is just continue to get this team working and trending in the right direction.
So if you could talk about your schedule for the off week, what will the Jaguars do in preparation for their next game?
We're going to continue to work at some things that we got to fine tune and get better at, some things that we got to be able to drop off that we don't feel that is working for us. So we just continue to work as a whole and get some guys back from some little nicks and bruises to try to get them as close to 100% as possible and just continue to work our chemistry going on in all three phases of the football game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Mason Smith.
Good morning, Coach Dooley. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well, sir. I want to talk to you about Harold Blood. Obviously, this is his first year as a starter. In each game, he seems to improve in, minor facets. This last week's game was the first game that he didn't throw any interceptions. How have you seen him progress and kind of get more comfortable as the leading signal caller for the offense?
That's what it's all about, growth, seeing guys that's getting better. That's what you want. You want guys to get better, and you can't keep correcting the same mistakes. And I think he's done a good job of that. We're going to always preach and teach on for us protecting the football and making great decisions. But again, a lot of times you look at that position, which is scrutinized a whole lot, but you got to look at the whole 11 and find out that everybody doing their job. If everybody do their job, then I feel real confident in that young man being back there running the offense. So he is growing and getting better. So it's the offense growing and getting better. And the thing is, we're going to continue to grind to make sure that the whole team is better.
Now, his playing skills have certainly developed from game to game, but how is his leadership? Are the guys responding to him well in the locker room as the season goes along?
Absolutely. He's a born leader. That's something that he didn't have to work on. That's something he had by nature already. He was automatic. As a backup last year, he was a leader. He did some of the same things that he's doing now. So the young man, tremendous guy, on and off the field, guy that you love being around, a guy that you understand that when he speaks, everybody listens. So that's never been an issue.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody at Southern are well. Talk about the defensive effort versus Alabama A&M shutout in the first quarter and also in the fourth quarter.
I thought those guys came out and they responded well. We pride ourselves on the defense side of the ball as far as the run, and I think every team does that. That's an old cliche. You got to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to run the football. But that's something that they pride themselves on. And I challenged them last week because they're very uncharacteristic of us the week before, giving up that many yards. And they know that's not something that they are accustomed to, but they just went out and carried out their assignments. Coach Miller had a great game plan. The guys worked it to perfection. And at the end of the day, we got the victory.
Coach, bye weeks, often they have key timing during its season. Every team is different, but this weekend you get an opportunity for a bye. Just talk a little bit about what a bye week can do for health and strength and for guys on the academic side, and it gives the team an opportunity. Just talk about bye week.
Well, we understand the schedule and we look at the schedule beforehand. I don't wait until a bye week to work on academics. I think academics is every day. I think you got to start off. You got to understand what the mindset is about academics. We attack academics just like we attack football. So from day one, the very first day of class, they knew what academics was going to be about. We're going to do that 24/7. So that's going to continue on right there. But just the opportunity, we still prepare. You know, this is not a week that we can take off. We still got to prepare. We got to win the day. What's important right now, that's what we mean by win. What's important right now, that we get better, correct those mistakes that we had within the first 3 games, and just move forward.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed week.
Thank you. You too.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Dooley.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I wanted to go back in terms of that game, particularly right before half. You got a big pass play that set you up first and goal, about 7 seconds left in the game. I wanted to ask about the decision in regards to go for the play. Is that a mindset that you're trying to get into your young men about being aggressive at that point? Or was there some liberty in terms of the quarterback taking a type of play? Can you expound on what took place there?
Yeah, we're gonna always be aggressive. I mean, we're not gonna back down. We're gonna go after it. I thought they responded and did a good job. Just got to make the call, and they made the call. The guys stepped out at the 1.5 yard line, so we had opportunity with 7 seconds. And of course, I'm going to make sure that I let the referee know as soon as the play in, it's a timeout. So we know that within our scheme, we can get plays off fast, and it shouldn't take that long. Unfortunately, what happened, they called a fumble at the end, which they would have had 4 seconds left for in time for us that we did not get in to kick a field goal.
Understand. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the win. Look forward to the following week with the matchup. I did want to ask you about going into the off week. Do you analyze what took place over a certain level of games in terms of perspectives of where you want to get better? Or do you just take it more in regards to looking forward in regards to the next game on your schedule?
We would do a 3-game and analyze those 3 games, but I'm a guy that I believe in the noun system. So I don't wait till we get to an open day to assess everything. I assess it as we go, because I think you got to be able to make such changes. You got to be able to make changes right now, because time is not going to wait on anyone. So the adjustments have to be made. Sometimes you got to do them right now. So each game by game, I make those adjustments. Now we can put it all together, because it's not a push for the play this week right here. But the mindset is that we're playing this week. The only bad thing about it, we're playing Southern. We got to get better every day.
Thank you, Coach. Makes sense. Look forward to the matchup the following week against Pine Bluff.
Thank you, Doc.
Last question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right, Keisha Kelly, Black College Experience. And of course, congratulations on that win. Going back to the game on Saturday, what was your conversation like with the guys going into halftime in the locker room? Because it was a close game at halftime. What was the conversation about? Because it turned around in the second half, of course, with the defeating Alabama. And then what was that conversation like? And I'll say between the players and then with the coaches to the players.
Well, you know, we went in with a lead, and that was very uncommon for us. We went in with a lead, but the thing about it, I let those guys understand. We say we play for 60 minutes. They want to award you with winning the first 30 minutes. So we got to go out and finish what we started right now, but we got to be able to take it control. And I thought the defense came out and responded right away, as well as the offense, and put some points up. But they understand what our mindset is. You know, the adjustments that I can make at halftime, I think it's easy, because I make adjustments throughout the whole game. I don't feel that I'm going to wait until we get to halftime to make it. If I see it's fit right now, I'm going to make that adjustment, whether it's just a second going off the clock, because I think you got to live in the now right now, because sometimes it can get too late. But those guys understood. They took it upon themselves. They knew what they had to do coming back out. And fortunate enough, we made a couple of more plays than the other team did and gave us the victory.
All right, well, congratulations on 1-0 in SWAC play, and most importantly, on keeping them on task with academics, Coach.
Yes, thank you.
Coach Dooley, as always, we appreciate your time, and have a good bye week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Head Coach McKinney, do see that we have Coach there with us. Coach McKinney, as always, we sincerely appreciate you taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at Rice.
Yeah, we went across the street, play Rice. Really tough opponent for us. Rice is playing really well this time of the year, but gave us an opportunity to work on some things, come together as a team. Our guys fought from the opening kick to the final whistle, and just gave us an opportunity to work on some things versus a quality opponent.
Appreciate those opening comments. Coach, first question goes to Mason Smith.
Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing well.
All right. I just wanted to ask for an update on Andrew about if you've received any news on his injury status.
Yeah, right now, only thing I can tell you is that we're waiting to hear what our doctors are going to allow him to be able to do. And as far as I know, they hadn't talked to him just yet, and he'll be a game time decision.
All right. And as my follow-up question, as far as the whole team goes, I know it's been a rough start to the year. How you kind of seen your team just manage the day-to-days? Like, are they still working hard? Or kind of like, you notice they, I won't say depressed, but kind of like a disappointed attitude in terms of how they played so far?
There's always disappointment when you lose a game, but these guys are extremely headstrong. They know we're not an 0-3 team. So they come to work every day with the same mentality, the same mindset. Our goals are still ahead of us. And so our guys come to work every day to just try and get better each and every day.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement that you used these 2 weeks against FBS opponents to work on things. What exactly did you guys work on? And do you think games of this nature should be used to practice in a sense?
Well, we use each game to try and win the game, but when the game gets out of hand, like our last 2 opponents did, then you determine that you need to work on certain things, and we're trying to find the rhythm offensively. We've played a couple of really good defensive programs back to back, and so we're just trying to find the rhythm and find our identity without Andrew if Andrew is not able to play with us this week.
Okay, as a follow-up to that, playing back-to-back FBS schools and the outcomes of those games were not in your favor. Do you think because of how those games played out, that there could be some regression going into SWAC play with the way you guys kind of performed?
I don't see any regression going into SWAC play. I mean, our guys understand the teams that we played, and they understand the teams that we're about to play, and we feel like we're just as good as anyone on our schedule in the SWAC, and we just got to go out and execute, minimize our mistakes, and take care of the ball, and we feel like we'll give ourselves just as good a chance as anybody else.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Prince.
Good morning, Coach. How are you today, sir?
Doing well. How you doing, Dr. Prince?
I'm doing real good. Look, we know that it is what it is when it comes to the FBS opponents and whatnot. What growth have you seen from your team as you prepare for the games where the rubber meets the road with your Western Division SWAC opponent?
Really, the thing that stood out the most to me is that our guys have continued to stick together and play as hard as they can play. There's no quit in this team. There's all fight. And I think that has made us much better as a team. Guys playing for each other.
Yes, sir. Now, I know with or without Body, you're still going to have to execute. What are some of the things that you feel confident that your team should be able to execute this week? And what are some things that will bring about a concern for you to defend?
Well, we're going to do what we do offensively. We have confidence in both Andrew and Jace, and our scheme is our scheme. We
we've recruited those guys to play in the system. So we're going to be who we are. And then as far as defensively goes, guys are just got to, you know, fly around, make plays, get the ball back when we get those opportunities, you know, be smart, be fast, be physical, and just play sound football and have eye discipline on the back end and just play together.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot, sir, and good luck to you on this weekend. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Houston are well. Take us back to that scoring drive when you were able to put 7 on Rice and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, it looked like we finally got it together. You know, we were able to run the ball some. We were able to throw it around a little bit. We had some guys. Jaron Johnson made an extremely tough catch, keep one of our drives going. We moved the ball decent. You know, we got an opportunity to score twice, and we went for it on 4th and 1. Didn't put it in the end zone that particular time, but that was a good drive as well. But yeah, it was good to see us be able to go down the field doing the things that we like to do, both running the ball as well as passing the ball in a quick game, drop back game, and put some points on the board.
Coach, the opportunity to go into Grambling, just talk a little bit about the next opponent, the football game. And again, it's business as usual in the SWAC, and this is a good historic matchup.
Yeah, going into Grambling, you know, it's a tough place to play, and they have a really good team. Coach has done a really good job of coaching those guys up. They got their first win this past weekend, and I know how that feels. They feel good about themselves, so it's going to be a tough win. You know, when we go against SWAC opponents, you know, it's just as tough as going against FBS opponents, and so we got to be smart. We got to take care of the ball, and then we got to execute on both sides of the ball, so to give ourselves a chance.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill is inside the HBC Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach McKinney.
Good morning, Doc.
Good. I want to talk about your quarterback, Jace Wilson. As you said, you recruited players to play into the system. How have you graded his framework of his gameplay, considering obviously the action was against strong FBS defenses that you took place the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, we think he's improving. This is his first year within the system from a terminology standpoint. He's played in some similar systems that we employ, but Jace is improving each week. And, you know, he was thrown into the fire versus Toledo. We didn't know if he would be the starter or not. And so I think he handled it really well. He took some bumps and bruises, but he's led this team on a couple of opportunities to score points versus FBS opponents. And I think he's progressing about how we expected.
Follow-up question is about this next matchup against Grambling. Obviously, in a lot of ways, when you look at an opponent, there are certain things that you want to do that you come into a game doing. But looking at Grambling, obviously, they seem to be pretty effective offensively through the air. But defensively, they've had some concerns against the run. Can you talk about how you effectively match up against them and the things that you want to do that is aligned about you having success in this matchup?
Yeah, well, I think defensively, we got to be able to stop the run, but they're effective in the pass game. And I want to say that they're one of the explosive teams offensively in our league. And so we got our hands cut out for us. But defensively, they have given up some yardage run-wise, but you look at the opponents that they've played. I mean, anybody's going to give up rushing yards versus a LSU. And so, but I think, you know, on both sides of the ball, they're very talented. They play fast, they're big, they're strong, they're athletic. It's going to be a tough opponent for us on the road, which we like playing on the road. But we're just looking forward to this matchup. I think that the SWAC West is wide open, and we're still in it. So this gives us an opportunity to show if we belong.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Great point.
Thank you.
Coach McKinney, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. To Jackson State, head coach Taylor. See that we have Coach with us. Coach Taylor, as always, we sincerely appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. If you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at Texas State.
That was a tough one for our program, our football team to go out there and, you know, they really dominated our football team this past weekend. I think 600 yards of offense, 400 on the ground, few bright spots. You know, we saw some young players that did play well on the offensive side of the ball. The offense was able to generate 30-plus points, though, you know, I think that's something we could take into a game this week. You know, being back home in the city of Jackson, playing at the Vet, something that we, you know, our football team and our coaches have been looking forward to, our fans as well. But it was a tough one. You know, when you play those kind of teams, you got to be perfect in all aspects of the game. They've done a great job of flipping that roster over there. You look at, you know, the type of players they have. The offensive line was massive. Had some guys at the receiver position that could really run. The quarterbacks were good. Defensively, they flew around. So we're just going to take it, learn from it, and move forward. Get ready for conference play.
Appreciate those opening comments. Coach, first question goes to Charles Bishop.
Morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good. Chuck, how are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to ask this past weekend, a little bit of a mixed bag, like you mentioned, but I wanted to ask a little bit about, although they scored early and often, the special teams. And we had kind of talked about special teams earlier back, I believe, the FAM game, but just, I guess, adjustments along the way that you look at it making with regards to special teams.
We're still trying to get the personnel right. We got to get some guys out there, Chuck, that this really is taking pride in, you know, being out there and understand the importance of special teams. You know, I met with my special teams coach, our special teams coordinator. I met with the kids, you know, and it's still a work in progress, just trying to get the personnel right. I believe in the scheme. I think we're doing the right things on there. You see, we have guys in position to make plays, but you know, they got to pull the trigger and, you know, and finish the deal. You know, we got some guys big, physical, can run, but when they get there, they got to bring some noise. But we can't continue to have these huge returns in the return game for us, punt return and kickoff return. And it's on me as a head coach to get that figured out. You know, going in the conference play, that's a big emphasis that I keep an eye on this weekend to get fixed.
Sure thing. And a follow-up question. I talk about the emergence of Ahmad Miller to this backfield with what you already have there, but he really had a huge game this past weekend.
Yeah, and he's been showing flashes in practice, Chuck. He's been doing some good stuff in practice, but you know how it is for those freshmen. You just you're concerned with the protection. You know, guys understanding what backer I need to pick up, what DB I need to pick up on certain protections. But he did a pretty good job of it, and then to go out there and do it against a Texas State team, a FBS opponent, you know, he showed great strength levels and also showed some breakaway speed. But very pleased with, you know, the things that he did going into that game, coming out of that game, rather. But I'm very excited about Ahmad, especially with the up and down injuries with J.D. Martin right now. We're waiting to get him back, but we've been waiting for some guys to emerge. You know, you saw Desmond Moultrie a couple of weeks ago against the Southern, and then this week, you know, Ahmad Miller steps up. So we're very excited about that room.
Good thing. Appreciate you, Coach.
No problem. Thank you.
Next question goes to Bradley Davis.
Hey, Coach. I apologize. My video's not working this morning. Bradley Davis, WAPT in Jackson. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. And first, I noticed Seven McGee had his first reception last week. How's he kind of coming along?
He's coming along fine. We finally seen, like you said, that catch that he did make in that game. He showed that he's getting the explosion back in that knee. Everything is coming back around. So, you know, we want to try to get more out of him this coming weekend at home. here in Jackson. But very excited where he is in the process of getting himself back ready to go. Very explosive player. Before he banged the knee up, we saw it. We would see it in practice, but we just had to be cautious about it and make sure we do the right things and give him a fair chance for us being successful this season. And implementing him back in our offensive plan.
And just a super quick follow-up. How long have you been waiting for this moment, the home opener as the coach of Jackson State University?
Man, since December, since the announcement of the head coach, just to get the opportunity to run out the tunnel at the vet in front of our home fans and our players to experience it. This is something that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. So I'm excited about this weekend. Our players are excited, our coaches. We're really looking forward to, getting back on track this weekend at home in front of our home crowd.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, I know the outcome Saturday wasn't what you wanted to have, but your offense did move the ball pretty good against FBS defense. How much confidence did that give you in the unit to stay consistent, seeing them do that on Saturday?
Very pleased in the offense. We had around 400 yards of offense. Threw the ball well. We were good on third down. The thing that I was very pleased with our offense against that FBS team, that's something that's been hindering us in these past few games. We were 5 of 6 in the red zone, and had an opportunity to be 6 of 6 with touchdowns if we don't have a drop pass, in the end zone. So very pleased where we are offensively. Those guys moved the ball up and down the field. The offensive line played pretty decent. We gave up a few too many sacks in that game, but very pleased we was able to generate 30-plus points. So I definitely think we got something to build on and look forward to getting in the conference play with what they did this past weekend.
As a quick follow-up, Coach, you mentioned how excited you are about playing at home for the first time since the SWAC championship game last year. What do you hope the reception will be from the fans and support will be from the fans to finally see you guys play back at home?
I think it'll be a huge ovation. I think they've been kind of waiting too. You see every game we played on the road, they've been there for us. It was a great turnout this past weekend. So they're just as much excited, for their team to get back to the city as well. The tailgate will be rocking. Everybody looking forward to the band. Just the entire city of Jackson is buzzing right now for this weekend. You got the WC Garden Classic going on. A lot of events will be carried out this week. So I think the fans are very excited. And like I said, this team is as well.
All right, thanks.
No problem.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in the Capitol are well. When you go back to that Texas State game, it was 28-20 when Irv Mulligan scored. Just talk about that. It was close at that point and very competitive.
Yeah, definitely. What I was telling our defensive staff, like in those kind of moments, we got to figure out some kind of way to get a stop, maybe make them kick a field goal to give yourself a chance in those games. And we didn't do that as a defense. They didn't punt the entire game. Heck, they didn't kick a field goal the entire game. I want to say they scored every possession, and that's something we got to get better with defensively, stopping the run, and giving the offense, giving this football team a chance to win. But also, too, like the question earlier, our special teams put our defense in a lot of bad situations out there by not tackling, not being special on special teams. But, you can only hold up for so long if you're not playing well in all phases against an FBS opponent. So, we gave ourselves our chance. We took our best shot at them, and, they found a way to separate in the end.
Coach, this weekend marks your home opener, a great opportunity for yourself and your football program. Bethune comes up. Just talk a little bit about what you expect to see Bethune at Jackson.
Like I said, the atmosphere is going to be crazy. I look forward to just seeing the fans. I think it's a big red out game, just seeing all the red up in there, dedicated to WC Garden. Bethune, those Florida guys, they come, they bring a little speed from Florida. And we got to understand that. I expect us to play better on defense, expect us to be better on special teams, and understand the urgency and the responsibility of, these conference football games. From here on out, everything counts, and that's the thing that I told our football team on yesterday in our team meeting. We can't afford to take another slip going into the remainder of our schedule. We got to be ready to go, but it's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's going to be a great game. It's a night game. We pushed it back to 6 o'clock. So I'm truly looking forward to that moment.
Have a blessed week, Coach.
All right, thank you, James. You take care.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good afternoon, Coach Taylor.
What's going on, Doc?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good.
How do you break down a game like this? I'm sure there's a lot of things that you basically saw during the game that were obvious to you. Do you go in and look at this, or is one you kind of throw away and be like, hey, we're going to go work on these things?
No, I always love these type of games because it gives you an opportunity to get a good measuring stick on what kind of players you got. And then how do I want to attack recruiting? You know, like we know now, like we got to get a little bigger on the defensive line, bigger on the offensive line. That was a massive group of young men on the O-line and D-line that Texas State had. And they just, you know, you got to be able to control the line of scrimmage. And that coach had a good, what I want to say, formula of how it's supposed to look, you know, with the length, the size, the way those guys ran at the receiver position. And if we're going to be playing these type games, we got to recruit a little different. That's what I told my staff, and try to get some more lengthier guys, faster guys, some bigger butts, you know, on that O-line and D-line when you playing against these kind of teams year in, year out. So that's how we look at it. You know, we can say we got to go out and try to find these type players, and we got a few here, but you got to have, you know, an abundance of those type of guys so you can be able to compete in those type of games.
Follow-up question will be the matchup against Bethune-Cookman. Obviously, you're at home. You get a chance to put up the suitcases for at least 2 weeks, as you said previously, which I'm sure you have with. But with that saying, offensively, you seem to be really effective for the most part of this year, no matter who you're playing against. Mm-hmm. And so in terms of their recruiting or in terms of this matchup, talk about what you want to get done offensively to continue the momentum of what you've seen to be that effective this season.
You know, no disrespect to the Bethune-Cookman football team, but we've been solid on offense, Doc, but I'm ready to see an offensive explosion, you know, where we really separate. You know, we've been around that 30-point range, 27-point range, but the type of players and the caliber of players we have in the backfield with Irv Mulligan, you saw Ahmad Miller this past weekend. Jason Brown is finally coming and turning the curve. Zy McDowell is playing good football. The offensive line is, you know, we got all our guys back. Rico Powers, Duke Miller, Seven McGee, all those names. These are highly explosive guys. So right now I'm looking to separate. You know, I want to look for us to be explosive at all positions, separate and really put some points on the board and put some pressure on that Bethune-Cookman team. And those guys know they have the ability to do it. You know, for us to go out there and be able to move those guys around a little bit at Texas State, and, you know, we were good on third down, getting the ball across the goal line in the red zone. We have the ability to do it. And so that's what I'm kind of looking for, that true offensive explosion, you know, and just go out there and really dominate a football game.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Doc.
Last question goes to Henry Pugh.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Well, good afternoon, actually. I'm sorry.
You good? How you doing?
All right. Coach, I got a question for you, kind of non-football related. Mainstream media has kind of had some thoughts and words about HBCU and their perception of what it is. As a HBCU alum and also the head man at one of the most popular HBCUs, how are you protecting that image and I guess you can say guarding the yard?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a great question. You know, it's just about how we carry ourselves in these type of situations on a day-to-day basis as far as our program. And what I mean by that, you know, when we arrive at a hotel, you know, making sure everything, when we're on the road, I'm talking about just how is our operation ran? You know, is everything organized? Are kids doing everything the right way? Are we respectable when you go into these places? And then just, I always talk about it, when you have opportunities to play football games on these national spotlights and these big time national stations, you know, going out there and playing a good brand of football. But it's a huge responsibility because you still got a lot of people that look down on it and just think that, you know, we don't do things the right way. So it's important that when we get those opportunities to show that we're doing everything the right way, we got to be, you know, have our best foot forward and ready to go.
Thank you, Coach.
No problem.
Coach Taylor, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody be safe.